Feels like everyone was sitting at home waiting for news about Trae Young. Well, how about Tre Johnson, the Trae that's already on the Wizards? He looked great tonight in a Washington Wizards tank loss against the Philly.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards, where you're part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, the Washington Wizards, every single day. If you're an everydayer, we appreciate you that much more. If you are new because of the recent Trae Young news that has sent shockwaves around the DMV, we welcome you to the channel. We hope you stick around and come by every single day. Alongside the DC sports content creating savant Abdullah Ayyubi, I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. The Washington Wizards fall tonight to the Philadelphia 76ers on the road, 131-110. The final score, a nice little tank loss for the Wizards fans that were getting all worried after winning another game last night. Tre Johnson, real good tonight, AB.
Yeah, our Tre Johnson, not
our
the
Tre.
Not the other Tre that's coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, our Tre Johnson tonight, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. And this is what we wanted to see throughout this whole year 3 rebuild, seeing our young guys ball out while also making sure that you're in that race for a top draft pick and keeping your top 8 protected pick. I think tonight, Ben, Alex Sarr, you mentioned it, going at Joel Embiid, love that. Just seeing him grow in year 2. Bilal Coulibaly, Ben, he has really flipped the switch. 18 points tonight, 1 rebound, 2 assists. If he can keep it up like this with his defensive performances, this is a guy who's going to be a really solid piece when this team starts contending. Bub Carrington tonight, 18 points. And you did this without a CJ McCollum, his first game inactive. I wonder why. He wasn't out there, and he's a basic focal point of this offense because he can give you 20 to 30 points a game. And you lose to a Sixers team, it is what it is. Tyrese Maxey is a superstar. He's really good. Paul George tonight, of course, that all people turn back the clock. Joel Embiid had his. VJ Edgecombe, very talented, but a good loss, and hopefully we're all still refreshing Twitter, waiting for that notification.
Yeah, we'll talk about that today. On today's show, I want to start with our Trae, the one that's already on the roster, because he was really, really good tonight. I'll tell you why. I think he continues to get better as the season goes along here, and why he looked great tonight. And then we'll give you an update on this Trae Young deal, which appears about as close as it can be, and we'll detail some of the reporting that has come out in the last couple hours or so. Nothing imminently new, but some new little details that'll be important. We'll tell you about that. We'll give you a chance to let it all out as well. Let's do that. All right, let's start with Tre Johnson. 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists tonight. He ended up being a -9 just because the team ended up kind of getting blown out a lot of the second half in this game. Like I said, a pretty good ethical tank loss. You're outscored 30-24 in the third quarter, then 39-30 in the game's final quarter. I want to say there were some wild lineups out there for the Wizards at some points in this game. Let me pull up the tweet I wrote out, because when I saw this lineup come into the game in the first quarter, I was like, oh, okay, I see it. It's that type of night. So this lineup consisted of Bub, who was like the main guy, I guess you could say, in this lineup. Bub, like your main backup point guard right now. A.J. Johnson, Marvin Bagley, your backup center. Anthony Gill playing at the 4. And then Malachi Branham were out there playing minutes together. And I was like, all right, well, I don't think a whole lot great is going to happen during these minutes that they're playing. And not a whole lot transpired that went well for the Wizards. They turned the ball over a ton in this game. They ended up finishing with 22 turnovers. I'd have to go double check if that's a season high or not, but that's pretty bad, to be honest. But Tre Johnson, man, he just continues to find different ways to score the basketball. Everybody knows that they have to respect his three-point shot at this point. He continues to pull shots from 27 to 32 feet like it's nobody's business. So when guys start to press up on him, you're seeing the intelligence, the basketball IQ of Tre Johnson, who continues to find new ways to get around screens and operate in the mid-range. That's going to be such an important aspect of his game, is scoring at that level. You could score from behind the arc. We've seen him take it all the way to the cup. I think that's still a work in progress. But him operating the way he has in recent weeks, out of the mid-range. Super encouraging. Another really efficient night for him. 61% from the field on 8 of 13 shooting. And 2 for 6 from 3 obviously isn't horrible, but he'd probably tell you that's a bad night for him. There was one instance where I thought he was going to get his third 3 of the night. He stripped Joel Embiid on the other end and went for a quick pull-up 3 in transition. It rattled in and out. That kind of stuff happens. Really good night for Tre Johnson. I'm so encouraged by the way he continues to find different ways to score, and I feel like they're just starting to unleash him. I feel like we haven't even seen him really scratch the surface. Still just 28 minutes tonight. Probably still kind of on a slight minutes restriction at this point. Just wait. Just wait until CJ is actually gone, because tonight was the first night where you didn't have CJ out there, and Trey, man, really good.
This is what this team was supposed to look like post-trade deadline, Ben. That's something that we were talking about once you move on from some of these vets. And no Corey Kispert tonight, no CJ, Chris Middleton not out there. The young guys, you let them play. And you mentioned Malachi Branham giving you some minutes. I think it was also Anthony Gill, 20 minutes. Is that a season high, Ben?
It has to be.
Okay, because at this point,
has to be.
us Wizards fans are used to seeing him play the last 2 minutes of a game. And TV only 5. So tonight, Will Riley. I was wondering why he wasn't playing, but then I realized he was assigned to the Capital City Go-Go.
Apparently, he was postering people at the Go-Go.
I saw on Instagram. That's awesome.
I haven't watched the tape yet, but I'll have to go check that out when we get back. Apparently, he's looked good for the Go-Go, so that's good to hear. I guess they had a night where they figured the Wizards were on the road. They had a home Go-Go game. It just made sense to go get him some reps. So that's cool. That's cool. That's good for Corey Kispert. Now, tonight, I call it a tank loss, but the reason I call it a tank loss is because we're going to see a lot of losses like this throughout the second half of the season. And even if you do get Trae Young, and I promise we'll talk about Trae Young as we go through the podcast here.
We have to.
We have to talk about him. But if he is sitting, oh my God, wait a second.
No way, you're lying. You're joking. You're joking. No, I think it just did. Oh my God.
Should we cut it and start a new stream?
Dude. Can you change the oh my goodness. You want
breaking news. The Atlanta Hawks are trading 4-time NBA All-Star Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert.
Wait, what else? There's got to be something else, right?
I don't see any other details as it is right now.
Dude, Ben, that is actually crazy, the timing, bro. Should we end this?
I think, all right, we're gonna cut this stream, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna give you a full breakdown. The trade has officially
why do they
happened.
have to do this? Why do they have to do this right when the game ends? Like, they're messing with this, man.
All right, we're gonna end this, everybody. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, and we'll break this all down. Thanks, everybody.